Hi, what's up, y'all? It's popping in Steve. About to react to this Playback vid. It's titled JiDion is retiring. In the thumbnail, it says, I found God. And he has a Bible he's holding up. I know JiDion trolls heavily, so I don't know what to think of this, but let's get all the details. Let's watch.
Trying to turn to God, y'all. I'm not trying to put like my pinky toe in no more. I'm not gonna just be sitting.
I don't think he would play with religion though. I don't think that's something to troll about. I think that's something that he would take seriously though. So I'm inclined to believe him.
On the edge of the pool, I want to jump full in. I want to dive all in, chat. So that's all I'm gonna say. I was with my girl. We were Ubering back from her college, and then right when we got back to the crib, the Uber driver, she looked back at us and she asked us a question. Me answering it made my heart sunk, but she said, if you guys were to die right now, would you go to heaven or would you go to hell? I had to be honest with myself.
That's a wild question to ask the Uber driver.
Myself and I was like,
I'm giving you 1 star.
Right now, if God was to take my breath away right now, I'm going to hell. Crazy chat. I be letting so many worldly things dictate how my day's gonna go. You feel me? You got people out here that are battling cancer, having horrible, like, being victims of horrible crimes and all kinds of stuff, right? And they still have the ability to put a smile on their face and be genuinely happy. I get a strike on my channel and I'm not able to post for a week. I'm over here in the slumps. You would have thought my dog died.
Ooh, that's me.
The way I was around here acting, I was gone for that week.
I get upset when YouTube plays games with my channel, so I can relate to that. Bro. But I don't think that's hell worthy. I don't think that it's worthy of you going to hell over.
Just pouting, being moody, being rude to people. The only reason why I was acting like that is because I'm letting worldly things dictate how my spirit is. And I had to just think, if I do follow Jesus, if I do follow his word to tooth and nail of what it is, front to back, then I'm not gonna be JiDion anymore. I'm not gonna be popping. I'm not gonna be on your guys' For You pages with edits. I'm not gonna be having the ASAP Rockies and the Mark Wahlbergs hit me up. Like,
JiDion's one of the most character-based people I talk to. I know of things already, but let's say he gets $100 million deal. If it's against him morally, he'd say no. Like 90% of people I know would take it. But he's like a man of principle, and I can respect that about him. And honestly, like, when you dedicate your life to something that's not what you built your foundation on, you're gonna see some of this inconsistencies and incongruences. But he's right, really. It's really the same thing with anybody who practices the faith and also does content. If you stream all day, bro, you're supposed to pray during the stream. I just catch up after stream. But if you spend all day doing one thing, there's no way it doesn't come at the cost of other things in your life, and your faith is gonna be one of them. I just think I think it's interesting how he came to this realization. It's so scary.
Is something that happened?
The Uber situation. I'm just saying, it's so scary to do that because you might not be making content for another 6 months or another year. Something can happen and you don't know what it is. You don't have much control. And what you do have control over is your actions. So you want to do things that you think is the most viral. So in his brain, I know he already has 500 ideas he could execute on at any given week. And he's just going every week executing on those ideas. So that becomes his life. Everything he does just becomes content, and then you forget about everything else. So I don't know. It's an interesting position to be in, but I think this is a lot healthier and better than the opposite what we see, and that's kind of what happened to Logan Paul, where you get so caught up in the content, you lose sight of what real life is anymore, and then now you're doing shit you could have never seen yourself doing before.
I think that it's crazy. This is my first time ever actually hearing this part.
I don't watch it on stream.
Yeah, this is my first time. So I guess not the irony, but it's, as a creator, I think it's way more relatable than a lot of people probably realize, because this is something that
and this is something that's really common, especially what Agent just detailed about losing track of what's real and what isn't, and losing track of yourself. I reacted to even the Dolan twins, talking about this not so long ago, when they just left YouTube completely because of that same thing. So this is common.
Literally right now I'm going through the exact same thing where it's just like trying to put things in its proper perspective in life and not trying to like get too down on myself or focusing on like what's the next, you know what I'm saying, next thing over and over and over and over again. Because you get caught up like very easy in that. And then sometimes you just stop and think to yourself like, oh, family, oh, friends, oh, my beliefs or things that go beyond just like trying to put out the next video. Yeah. And yeah, you can get lost and caught up very, very quickly. It just so happened that JiDion here is, come to the realization more so about, religion and stuff like that. Which just as like being transparent, yeah, I've definitely failed in that department over the past like XYZ amount of years. So it's always like interesting to come to that conclusion. I always wonder like, what does that look like as a content creator? Because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, bro. Just the way that it is, the way that everything is set up, unless you set yourself up in a way where quality is like over quantity and you can maybe get away with not uploading like very, very frequently, or maybe the content that you produce is like very low maintenance so you can kind of get away with like only committing, a handful of hours and then for like a good portion of the week you have your uploads already prepared. Bro, like it's just the level of commitment that comes on, or you hire a team. The level of commitment that comes to like just producing quality stuff on the internet is very difficult to do, and especially the commitments that JiDion makes. He's flying all over the country and stuff like that. So yeah, there's gonna be aspects of your life where you get caught up. And from the outside looking in, bro, I know for a lot of people it's kind of hard to understand that. But yeah, bro, like you get caught up. You get caught up very, very quickly. And there's certain things that you gotta appreciate. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be transparent, man. Now that I'm making like more money than I was making like 3 years ago, the one thing that does concern me, and I'm starting to like realize how hard it is to have like genuine conversations with people that you don't already know. If that makes sense.
Depends about what. I don't talk to people about money.
No, but how quickly it may pivot to money and success.
Honestly, I don't really talk to people like that. They exist. I just don't. And people like know not to talk. Like, you're not gonna come up to me and say weird. Like, there's a way to be weird if you walk up to me.
Yeah.
But most people.
I understand what Lo is saying, but as far as the conversations, I don't find that that's too much of an issue. Sometimes it does. I know what he means. It pivots to people taking an abnormal interest in what I'm doing and wanting to probably be around me or talk to me because of what I do, and then thinking, oh, you live here? Oh, this is your car? Oh, so it does get a bit weird at times, but I find way more difficulty in actually having relationships with people, like friends and romantic partners, when you're in this life. That is a big struggle.
But at least in my life, don't do shit like that. Having a foundation is important. It doesn't matter what it is. And I think JiDion come to his realization is illuminating for a lot of people. It should be, because it's like a lot of people walk around without one. And that's why you feel purposeless. And
that's yeah. Yes.
And then you kind of just feel like everything you're doing is empty.
If y'all hear that beeping, sorry.
You have a good foundation. Everything you do has a purpose. I just believe this life is a test. So doesn't mean you're going to ace every part of it, but you should most definitely be trying to do as good as you can, avoid the sins, commit the good deeds, and then at the end of the day, you're a better person as a result. There's a lot of temptation you're going to experience in life, bro. And part of it is attention. Like, that's what everyone's doing right now on TikTok. Everyone's just trying to get clout or attention, and it's like, I don't know, like, I think humans are just, technology has moved way faster than humans have been able to adjust. Mm-hmm. And now it's just like, everybody's just feeling, it's like everything's becoming more fake, less genuine. It's just the way things are moving, bro. And everybody wants to be a fucking content creator. Like, everyone's gunning for his job, bro. Yeah. And if he doesn't have his foot on the gas all the time, someone's gonna take that spot. And I know you think, like, the attention of human beings are limitless. That's not true. You feel me? Like, there's a certain amount you're gonna wanna watch, and then you're done. You can go about your life. You can go to sleep. You can wake up. You can go to school, go to work, or whatever it is. So, like, there's a risk to focusing your attention on something that's not what got you here. 100%. And there's a good chance that everyone in his family and his friends rely on him monetarily for their sustenance. Maybe he wants to retire his parents, or maybe he wants to make sure his friends are comfortable. So there's a certain amount of responsibility that you just have to consider. All of it is just difficult decision making, but honestly, some of these are just good problems to have in the first place. Yeah. You'd rather have these problems than other problems. Like he said, there's people dealing with real shit that you can't juke, you can't avoid, and you don't know. So, I don't know. I feel like the genuine shit is easier to come by for me now. Like, I can tell when someone's not there, and then I just won't waste my time with them. But reality is when you have something...
You're able to tell easier now than before, but I just feel like there's more... non-genuine people.
Yeah.
Well, they've always... Let me be clear. the disingenuous people have always existed. They just have more incentive to interact. But like, yeah, it may be easier now than before because you see more of those people. I don't know. I feel like, especially the way that we met, like, I feel like those type of interactions are just never gonna happen.
Depends. I feel that completely with JiDion. When I interact with him, I don't feel no like.
Yeah.
He doesn't move different as a result of his status or wealth or whatever. He just like a rant. Like,
how many people do you think exist like that?
It's not common, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not common.
It's not like this. I mean, and I have to shout out to the motherfucking like people that I know who do content. Like, shout out to y'all, bro. Shout out to people I know who do content because I don't really feel that vibe from a lot of people, which I think is also good. I don't know like how we've been able to like keep those people at bay because I hear things about like what somebody did out in LA or Miami or somewhere else, and I'm like, oh, that's crazy, really. So I don't know how we've been able to avoid those people, but like, yeah, I don't know. But to be also fair, like a lot of the people that we know, we've known, yeah, for a while though. To also be fair, that's true. It's true. You know new friends, bro.
You can make new friends.
Nah, man.
Auburn,
That's a struggle.
Mark Cuban.
That beef is pissing me off, but I can't get
a
it.
Simon charity match. Would any of that really matter, chat?
I'm not gonna remember to edit this out.
It really wouldn't. Jesus tells us in the Bible, it's easier for a needle to go through a camel than for a rich man to go to heaven. And chat, man, you know,
I don't think
thanks to you guys, you know, I've acquired a very nice fortune, you know, and I'm not saying that to brag or anything, but this fortune that I have on earth is nothing compared to the fortune I can have in the kingdom of heaven. This is just me, like, really talking to y'all. Like, this is me.
I gotta stop this. Hopefully I remember to edit this out.
Trying to just be so 100% transparent. But God tells us that a bird doesn't have to worry about where he's going to get his next meal from. And then he said, are you not better than a bird? I'm way better than a bird. So why am I tripping? You know the crazy thing about it, chat? I'm going to just spill the beans to y'all, bro. I'm going to be honest. So I was about to take a gambling deal, chat. I was about to do a deal with my bookie. I was giving myself so many reasons to take the deal. I was like, oh, I can pay my employees more. I'll be able to do cool events. I was trying to trick my brain into saying, oh, I'll be able to work more directly with these sporting companies and everything. Chat, bro, I was going to be making a lot of money. And for minimum work. But that's the reason why it's minimum work is because, like, you guys clicking that link to the gambling page would be making up what they're paying me. You feel me? Because I even talked to Nico about it, right? And I was like, yo, Nico, man, I think I'm going to do it. And Nico was like, don't do it, bro. Like, you're not that person. I was giving Nico every excuse under the bus. And he was just like, man, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but this isn't you, bro. And he was like, don't do it. My spirit was telling me not to do it, but I was just listening to my flesh, man. Bro, I'm telling you guys, do not listen to your flesh, bro. And you guys might be wondering, like, what are you saying by that? You'll know when you're in that circumstance. Do not give in to your flesh. Trying to make it seem like, oh, for you guys, do more giveaways, or my parents. But no, it was my own selfish needs.
Bro, that's some real shit. That's some real shit, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I
know some of the gambling deals niggas that took. You know what's crazy? I feel like a lot of the numbers I see online are like inflated. Inflation won't even do justice how mind-blowing numbers I've heard were, and these were directly from the source. So the amount of money in the gambling world is crazy, but the reason why is because they're hitting licks on your audience, buddy. And I don't judge nobody for taking those deals at the end of the day, bro. Niggas get to make decisions.
Yeah, fact. They do what they want to do.
Didn't Aiden do that?
I've denied gambling deals.
We did that quite a few deals, actually.
Yeah, the unfortunate reality is most of the streaming deals come with gambling.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of have to have a lot of leverage to not have gambling in your deal. I've seen many people with it, but a lot of the deals, especially on that site, come with gambling incentives. And they're so... well, you're going to want to do them, bro. It's like...
But it was same with a podcast. We had a podcast. The amount of gambling and the sex pill, like those two were like, we could have been throwing that shit at y'all every episode, just back and forth. Roll the dice, win this, take this pill, get your dick sucked. Like it could have been back and forth. But yeah, we didn't do it either. But we talked about that before. And shout out to I can only imagine the type of money that he was.
It was probably over $100 million. Like if it was a year-long deal with like deliverables throughout the year, it's probably over $100 million. That shit is crazy.
That's a lot of money.
But you know how they make that money, though. They hit a lick on your audience.
Yeah, for sure.
The lick of all licks.
Boy, that's a lot of money, man.
Bro, it's 100.
That is a lot.
Like,
I would have took that. I ain't even
bro,
gonna hurt you.
especially for a creator his size.
I'm not a religious person either, though, so maybe
How
I'm
do
a
you even say
heathen.
no to that? Most niggas is saying yes to that, bro. And I know, like, when you're not in that position,
And it's like, oh, they hitting a lick on your audience. It's not like they robbing your audience. Whoever decides to sign up, you know what comes along with gambling online. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't I wouldn't feel bad about that personally. But that's just me.
just say, like, I would say no. Bro, I went through that same thing. I got a gambling deal, and it was in the millions, bro. And it was like 10x more than I would have made that year. And I would have to do very little to say, bro, I'm sitting there contemplating, like, bro, I can grow the team like this, nigga, the content can reach all these people and shit like that. So I started calling people. That's what I do nowadays. You know who taught me that? This nigga. Because he'll call me sometimes. So I know he calls other people to just ask for advice. So anytime I'm not sure now, I'll ask people who I feel like might know. So
But they're
I was
religious
asking,
niggas,
and I eventually called my dad. I said, hey, so I got this deal, but it's like this bread. So I'm sitting here explaining to him why it's such a good deal and shit like that, just to see if he could talk me out of it. And then, I don't know, the way he wasn't even disappointed. He was just like unfazed. He was like, oh, what are you talking about? Like, for money? You're gonna do it for money? And I was like, yeah. And he just made me feel like it was a nice reminder that money is not the only important thing in life.
I need more details
And
about
like,
this deal. Because
yeah,
I'm like, why is it so demonic?
Dumb idea to take it at that point. But like, he was just like, bro, it's money. It's money. You're gonna die and money's gonna be gone. Like, you're gonna do it for money? And so that's kind of like, he wasn't even trying to convince me. He was just saying what he would always say. But like, that's what it is though. I feel like being able to live off a principle, there's value there. Because there's gonna be a lot of incentives not to, man. In your life, there's gonna be a lot of incentives not to. Even in small ways, like maybe your principle is just like you want to be healthy, and then some days you just don't want to eat good, or some days. But there's value in sticking to what built you, like that foundation. And I think him just going back to it is him being honest with himself. Because I feel like there's another path you could take where you just go down that rabbit hole and now you can't even, you don't even know who you are no more. That person you were, like, the person you are right now is a completely different person and it's a worse person.
But I think the problem is that people have a hard time hearing how much that's going to really eat at you at night. Like, you have all the money in the world. If you, like, look in the mirror or you kind of step back and look at the things you've done and you just, like, internally, you genuinely don't approve of those things, like, that shit just turns you off. Or it don't matter how much money you make, it don't matter how much money you have. I mean, especially when we get to this point, I'm not even at, like, your point or JiDion point, but there's definitely times where I'm like, who gives a fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's really going to be the difference in my life or in other people's life around me if an extra $20,000, $50,000, $60,000 is introduced? Like, not, like, it can be some stuff, but it ain't no shit that, like, that really actually matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, the stuff that actually matters, it ain't gonna really matter. Like, the difference between, instead of driving a Camry and a BMW, who gives a fuck? Like
Actually,
stop.
BMWs are great cars.
Shut up. You know what I'm talking. You just chatting right now. You're chatting. I applaud JiDion for coming to this conclusion because I think it's much more difficult to come to this conclusion than people realize. But from my lived experience, it's also just easier to live life that way, bro.
Don't even try and convince somebody that. Honestly, I want the herd of people that think money's gonna solve their problems to just spend their life trying to chase it. And then
I've talked about this before, and people always like, no, you know, it does change people's lives. How can you say that when people don't want to hear that?
Worst thing that can happen to them is they get it, because then they're gonna.
That's not the worst thing.
Yes, it is.
They get it and they do what?
Then they're hopeless because that was their hope that it was
Exactly.
gonna solve all their problems. You ever go through something in life
Exactly.
and in that moment, it consumed your mind is always on it, like, and you feel like, fuck, bro, if I could just get through this. And then you get through it.
And
Isn't it so fascinating how new problems just pop up? Like, you would have thought, like, once you got through that problem, it's bliss. But then a new problem just find a way to pop up. It could be a small problem, bro. It could just be like you fractured your fucking index finger. And now, everything I do, I need my index finger for. I can't drive properly. I can't wipe my ass. I'm trying to do left-hand wipes now. It's just like, and then this becomes your problem. And then eventually, imagine while this is your problem, something big happens in your life, like you get a tumor. You think you give a fuck about your finger right now? No, you're focused on the tumor in your body, and that's gonna be your problem. So it don't matter the scale of the problem. The human beings they have this innate ability to just exacerbate that problem, make it feel like some real colossal shit. And there's people dealing with real colossal shit. So if that's not you, if you failed your class and that's, nigga, run it back. You didn't run out of time yet. You're still alive. Run the class back. You'll get through it. But so many people create these grand problems out of small things. So that's why I say, literally just get the money. Chase it your whole life. Sacrifice everything for the money. And then you're going to have nothing and you're going to be hopeless. And then that's going to be true poverty, because you're gonna be gone mentally right here. But I don't know how much money you got in your pocket. There's people with no money that's happy in life, bro. I've seen it. So
but what, you know what taught me that? What taught me that was death. Like death in my family taught me like, bro, all this shit is just.
Yeah, bro.
It's always gone, bro. I want to say, like, bro, that shit gonna be gone, bro.
It's cool.
I mean, my grandfather used to tell me about all the things he did and all the stuff he got in his room and stuff like that, bro. That shit gone, bro. I remember my uncle was running around trying to figure out how to get a car. He did it, and he got the truck, and boom, bro, he lost his life, bro. That shit, all that shit that he was like, all that shit that he was worried about, we were sitting there talking about, that shit is pointless. It was done. And you be sitting there thinking to yourself, bro, I really wish the last couple of conversations I had with him wasn't because of like a truck or a car or some miscellaneous things that now genuinely don't even matter, bro. That stuff does not matter, bro. Yo!
I agree with that. I've said this many times before also, and yeah, people are not very receptive to that sentiment. They're just like, oh, try telling a homeless man under the bridge that money doesn't matter. They say stupid shit like that. It's like, obviously, for someone who literally has nothing and they're on the street, you know, and they're homeless, giving them money, that would completely change their lives and that would increase their happiness. But for the average person, just throwing money at you, that's not going to automatically contribute to your overall happiness. Maybe in the moment you'll, you know, be super excited about it and you'll mistake that for happiness because you're like, oh my God, I'm so excited, I got all this money. But over time, like, it's not going to really bring you real happiness. That's why a lot of these celebrities, people who got all this money, that's why they be depressed. Their money is not bringing them true happiness. So I 1000% agree with that. As far as that gambling thing though, like, I would need more details about that, and maybe I'm just ignorant to everything that entails, because when I'm thinking of online gambling, I'm thinking of, you know, consenting adults gambling, because that's already what they like to do. Like, I have a homie who gambles online all the time. Like, it's a hobby of his. He likes to do it. Sometimes he wins, sometimes he loses big. But, so, you know, it's just something that people do. Just like people drink. Some people drink. And I would also, if I teamed up with a brand and they wanted, you know, me to sell alcohol, I would do that as well. Because it's like, yes, I mean, there are alcoholics out there who abuse alcohol, but there are many other adults who consume it responsibly. And I consume liquor responsibly, so I wouldn't mind putting my name on liquor. So, but again, people are different. People have different morals, and I understand from a religious perspective that is like, that could be against their religion, and they look down on that. So I can't speak on that. So maybe that's why they feel that way about gambling, or maybe the gambling deal is just terrible and it automatically scams you as soon as you click on the link. I don't know how it works, but yeah, I do applaud JiDion for, you know, choosing himself. And if religion is important to him and he's choosing to put that over everything, that is, you know, commendable. So yes, good for you. But like I said, I'm not a religious person at all, so I can't relate. But, you know, I can see that it's important to him. So good for him. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.